No, I guess it's a balance.
Yeah.
When I'm not here,
Yeah. Right. It is a balance. Life is a
life
balance.
is a balance.
Life is a balance. We are life.
Woo.
You want to say, I want to know the pull from the thing, right? Because I can't share, remember that.
We're learning.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the DeBrief show.
DeBrief
show. It is a pleasure to be here with each and every one of you.
Yeah, man.
We're just gonna wait for some people to join us. We're gonna share. Go to the page itself and just push share. Right? Where your share is? More option. Where's your more option? Copy the link. Copy. Just go in the link now. Go into the thing and paste. Hi everyone. We just want to take this time out to just share. We just also want to take this time to welcome each and every one of you. But we just want to share the links a little bit. So bear with us while we share, and if you can as well, feel free to share with those that may be waiting for the show. Did you post it?
Yeah, when you come out, do video.
Oh, just hold it. Put it in your chat and just hold it up. Yeah. So we just want to. Yeah. All right. We just sharing some link. You put it in chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We just want to do some sharing. But today we're going to be discussing this Barbados at large, just a basic conversation about Barbados, how we all feel about things. So we have a small number in terms of no panel today. We are always your panel, but we would like that you share the link, please, so that persons can jump on, and we can go right into the show and start to discuss things that are going on. I think there's a lot going on in Barbados now.
Yeah.
So we have a lot to talk about. I just want to take the minute or two to share. I'm asking you, please, the more you share, the more people can watch.
Correct.
So press it. Right. So we're asking you to bear with us and share with us, so that all of those persons that are waiting can join the DeBrief show. And we know there's a lot of people waiting, as always, to join us. So we know it is all swell and well when you help us share the show. So just give me one moment while I share with those that we know are sitting and waiting for us to begin. All right. So bear with us, please. Bear with us. We're not trying to hold back the show.
Correct.
All right. But we have in-house myself, Kimar Safri. Here we have Simon Allen on my right. I don't know if you will be on the left in the TV or in the screens.
I might be there left or right.
He's the man that spend all the time in the public eye, you know.
Me. Not me. When I have something to say, I guess.
Well, you were in the paper recently, so I guess we could talk about that as well.
Could, I guess.
Simon always have something to say. Simon says.
Yep.
That should be an article though. Simon says.
I think so too.
You know,
or even a radio show. You never know.
Simon says. So bear with us while we just share and get started on tonight's show. We're gonna have an interesting show. Very limited persons here, but nevertheless, we
entertain more questions.
More questions. If you have any questions, Kimar, please comments. Kimar will post it for you to be able to hit the number for you to call and be able to connect with us and share with us. Say what you have to say. Let's hear from you. The show is about you. Our faithful and wonderful guest who has been with us non-stop. Right?
Correct.
I'm trapped in the middle between these two. I have no defenders of the bees here today.
Oh dear.
I'll try to represent them.
Yeah, man. You're not bashing anybody, but let's talk the facts, I guess.
I try to represent them as much as possible. But yeah. So again, blessed good evening to everyone. I think this would be fitting to start with, though, guys. I don't know if you've seen the video of the gentleman who would have poured the liquid substance on a homeless guy.
That's in Barbados.
In Nelson Street.
Jeez.
You know, as a person that stands as an advocate for the homeless, these are things that we do not condone abuse on homeless persons. It's real heart-wrenching to see someone lying on the street sleeping.
Correct.
And you decide to throw a liquid onto the person. Now, this could have been This could have been acid. This could have been water. If it had gotten into the person's ear canal, you could have damaged their hearing, the nose. You could have drowned them. Also, this is an elderly person, and you know, as an advocate and as president of the Barbados Alliance to End Homelessness, we're asking people to speak out against this violence on homeless. We're asking people to end the violence on homeless and see them as persons that are members of our society. They are brothers. They are sisters. They are family. Now, just because they may look different, they may smell different, or they may act different, or behave different, does not mean that we are supposed to treat them in any way that is not human-like. You understand? Any of us could fall into situations ourselves. Any of us could fall into a situation of homelessness at any point of time. Any of us could fall in a situation where we lost our house due to fire, to hurricanes, to storms, to whatever nature that may bestow upon, that God may bestow upon us. But I'm always encouraging people to take a time to think about the actions. Because it is not warranted. The guy is an elderly guy. He could hardly walk. He pulls a heavy briefcase around. So we have to be able to be more respectful, responsive, and more responsible in our approach to people. And it was very displeasing to see this kind of action being taken against believing Ms. Barnett. It was very disheartening to see this kind of action taken against people. But what I would like to do is thank the Barbadian public who shed light to it, like Trinity Clark and Chase Fowle, and also Natalie Herwood. We all know Natalie very well. Natalie did spread some light, and she went out of her way to look for this guy. I gave him a hug, embrace him, let him know, the people around that love him. I spoke with Natalie as well. And, we may not think that people that we don't regard in certain way care for the society, but she is one that we know that care and love the society and love people, and she reached out. I have also made contact with the Royal Barbados Police Force to look into this matter of this abuse, because many times homeless persons are not people that will walk into a police station and say, hey, I've been abused, or I've been spat on, I've been attacked. But us as advocates, us as responsible members of society can be able to shed light to this and to bring the awareness that we cannot allow people in this country to sit and abuse homeless people. It is heart-wrenching, and I'm glad in our 21st century we can capture people doing things to our members of society. Now, there's another question that I may ask is, I'm president of the organization. Why are people not in the shelter, or whatever the case may be? Now, everybody don't want to go into a shelter. And also, happy birthday to Destiny as well. Thank you,
Destiny Burnett. Yes, happy birthday, Destiny.
Now, everybody don't want to be in a shelter. One of the things that we have to appreciate is that the shelter that we have here for the homeless have only been opened in January of this year.
Couple months in?
No, couple months in now. But there are homeless persons that was on the streets for more than 20 years, longer than this shelter has been operating, longer than I personally have been helping the homeless, or my staff have been. So we have to understand it's not just because a shelter pop up today that you're going to get people to change their mind about going into a shelter when they were on the street for so long. The culture, they don't have to be confined in a shelter. They're not accustomed to that. The rules that may apply to the shelter, they are not accustomed to that. They may have to bathe, they may not be accustomed to that. They cannot behave the way they want to behave on the street, lay on the ground the way they want. So there's a lot of things that encompasses one not being in the shelter. However, you may be able to capture somebody that now become homeless. Like if this guy roof was to blow off tonight, or something was to happen tragic to his home, he will want to be in a shelter. And that is what the shelter supports. People that are now coming on the street, but also people that have been on the street for years. And in addition to the regular programs that we would have, that we would seek to help people with and get them off the street and back into mainstream society. So don't look at it as because somebody's on the street or decide to stay on the street that the organization isn't working. The organization is working assiduously to make sure that that person receives all of the help and the care they need. But it still does not give anybody the right to abuse, treat or ill-treat or mistreat a homeless person because you feel to do it, or because they're vulnerable, or because they cannot attack. I sure know if it was some young boy or some stronger person, that person would have think twice before they did what they did. So Barbados, we encourage you to speak out strongly against this act of violence on the homeless, and if you see it, report it. Don't keep it to yourself. Report it to us here at the organization, 538-2480, and someone will answer and we will direct it. But we are happy to say that the Royal Barbados Police Force is involved, and they are calling us and they're getting information, and we will be pursuing this matter to the full, to get justice, to be able to rectify this matter. But it is not something we condone.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Just to add to your point, but not directly to the homeless. Speaking about elderly persons in the communities who are often left unattended, they live alone. In some instances, people still using smart lamps, don't have electricity, some don't have running water, and we have a lot of elderly persons in households without anybody paying attention to them. Some of them are not on the government assistance program where we have the home help.
National Assistance Board.
Yes. So we have a lot of issues, particularly in rural areas where elder persons are left unattended for long periods of time, sometimes weeks, and sometimes nobody checks to see what goes on with them. And we still have persons who may have, say, trees around the house, and they may have some animals and what's not. You have persons going on to the premises and stealing and breaking into the houses, and basically unfairing the elderly in the communities. I cannot necessarily speak to a direct case to give you specifics of a direct case, but when it was canvassing in the areas, persons would tell you the stories of what it's like to live alone as an elderly person. So I think we should definitely pay some attention to vulnerable people in a whole. We could class vulnerable people as the elderly,
disabled,
homeless,
autistic,
and even, well, I won't say kids because parents are supposed to look at kids, but that was another story. But we need to pay attention to that group who we consider to be vulnerable, and to put some protection in place to ensure that these persons are kept safe in our society.
I think if I may add to is that when I saw the government implemented the Ministry of People's Empowerment and Elderly Affairs, I thought that much more would have been done as it relates to the elderly. And I come in from the point where there's so much elderly homeless persons. But when I first started, predominantly the homeless was elderly. You're talking about from 50 and up, and I count 50 to some degree because I think the bar counts from 50.
Yeah, that's right.
So 50 was the age that I saw, and Gavon Moss from Bahamas. Wow, thanks for tuning in.
Gavon Moss. Hi, Gavon from the Bahamas. What's up, man?
We met a couple years ago, so yeah, good guy. But we thought that a lot more would have been focused on the elderly as it relates to policy. Now, the National Assistance Board, to my mind, in addition to the geriatric hospital and a few other, are the only institution that I know of for the elderly. I'm not talking about the elderly care home off of government. But I think that we need to focus a lot of our attention on policy surrounding elderly. Where, one, you have people that are elderly, but they are mistreated, as Kimar said. And at the same time, you have people that elderly folks would have raised. I believe that there should be a law that if you were raised by an elderly person, there should be a contribution from your end back to the elderly person. I don't see why we have struggling elderly walking about the streets. I took part in an exercise where I had to call elderly folks, and I had to speak to a lot, and sometimes they don't want to come off the phone because this is the first conversation they had in years. But we should have policy to guide us, that you cannot put out an elderly person, just like you can't put out a child. You should not be able to put out the elderly person. If the person raised you, I don't see why you should not be able to raise back the person, to help the person out of their last 10 days on earth. So those are things that as policy we should look at. Go ahead.
I think so. I think one of the things too is that we have to either modify our culture or get back to the old parts of our culture. Years ago, it was normal to see extended families among us as black people. Most of the time, a lot of extended families now will be the Indian community. Because I guess after a while, people become more socially mobile. They want their own space. They want to live in their own house. And that's fine. But years ago, it was not uncommon to see grandparents, aunts, uncles, everybody living, if not in the same house, 2 or 3 houses down, or in the same area opposite each other, which would allow for the elderly to always be cared for, along with the little children, the infants. So I think it is important that we hold on to the parts of our culture that would be real beneficial to helping people. I think that we have lost some of the care in our society because life has become so fast-paced. But what COVID has done now, COVID came down and slowed down everything in Barbados totally. And you will find now that a lot of people are trying to appreciate family life a bit more, where they're spending time with the family or loved ones. But the thing about it is that for the elderly especially, remember you got the elderly that may have a number of ailments. So it may not be a situation where people don't want the elderly to stay with them, but they may not have the facilities in place to deal with them. How do you deal with a mother or a father or a grandparent that may have dementia? Or they may have a situation where they got Alzheimer's and they're walking out the house, walking away from home. So I think that sometimes people do want to keep the elderly at home with them. But what I think is that they need the supporting services.
So, right, so this is where the National Assistance Board could lend a hand.
And private.
And private. But we could also train people in how to home care for the elderly.
Agreed.
Because the same thing is in America, it has parent aid and stuff like that. Before a child is born, you can take part in a number of exercises to benefit you when the child comes. Not that I ever really prepared you for when the child comes.
Never.
But at the same time, well, yes, we understand that some people want to take care of the elderly but don't know how. There must be provision made to say there's going to be a nurse visiting once a week to do a checkup on that person. And for a culture or for a country that has a high population of elderly, then more emphasis need to be put on how do we take care of them.
Yes, the elderly and youth too.
Particularly in institutions like the hospital, the Queen Elizabeth and the Geriatric Hospital, and the homes, the elderly homes.
Senior
you have a lot of persons, particularly in more middle class environments where persons who are now too busy to take care of the elderly, so they just put them in the homes and sometimes don't even check back on the persons after they enter. Now, there's a lot of issues where we have a high set of elderly people into those institutions, and the government is now forced to take care of these individuals because the family would have abandoned them. So I think we need to put some stricter protocols as it relates to care of the elderly and to actually enforce these protocols, because you made the point, we have a more senior population.
We do.
So under situation now where we have a more elderly population, now the NIS comes into question.
Oh yeah, boy.
How many younger people are now entering the workforce to be able to sustain the level of pensions that need to be paid out in the next couple of years?
True.
So we need to plan from top down, and to plan for the elderly, you need to include the youth also, which also brings into unemployment, job security. So that could be a project for the Ministry of Labor and the Ministry of Elderly Affairs, and also finance, to encapsulate all of these different dynamics so we can have a feasible and lasting policy.
Correct. Because I really don't feel that we are doing any justice. I find that at the same time we are very reactive. When something happened to the elderly, just a couple of years ago, we saw where a lady was kicking the elderly at home. And we saw a number of things. So we need to be able, I agree with Isis King, that we need a senior citizen fund to basically take care of these persons. And as I said, it goes to homelessness, because a lot of times some of the homeless that you will see on the street is from the sense that they can't take care of themselves in the home. A lot of them also get to a position where they start to hoard. So they start to keep the place filthy. They don't have anyone to take care of them. They're not mobile.
True.
The house is not decked out to be disabled friendly.
It's not
so they're not accessible. They don't have the things to hold on for in the toilet, in the showers. So a lot of things encompass. And I would have loved to see that the government now implementing this new ministry brings stronger policy against protecting one of our treasured vulnerable population, because it is a very treasured population that we can boast as one of the countries in the world that has a high elderly population. And that's life expectancy is high. And so we have to
the record for the most centenarians
in the world.
In the world,
right?
Yeah.
But I mean, just to enter into a little political chat here.
Mm.
The Prime Minister recently removed the parliamentary secretary in the Ministry of Elder Affairs and then put one back in. Right? And just to agree with your point, is that no is not the time necessarily to be taking away resources. Not saying the gentleman should keep his job or anything, but to be taking away resources from the Ministry of Elder Affairs. Right? And there's a big.
I asked if he was an added asset.
Yeah. And there's a big debacle going on right now. If we keep it talking about seniority and age, there's a big debate going on right now.
Of course there
from
is.
the more senior members of Parliament saying, "Hey, we ain't too old." I was this thing about wanting to get rid of the old people.
Before you jump on that, though, let me ask a question. I've seen that the let's use Minister Sandra's husband. Now, we see that Minister Jerome Walker is the Minister of Foreign Affairs, but she's the Minister of Trade in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade and International Trade. So we could have probably had a minister in the Ministry of Social Care, Elderly Affairs,
Right.
so that minister could have been addressing this elderly, because there had to be a reason the Prime Minister had it.
Was, but no, Mr. Rovers, that's the parliamentary secretary.
He was just a parliamentary secretary. I don't know what his portfolio was, but that would have been the ideal thing to do. Would have been to have a minister, because that's a huge ministry.
Yeah.
That's dealing with welfare. That's dealing with all the vulnerable, a lot of the SDG goals, sustainable development goals.
Yes.
So that's a thing,
Please.
right? Why don't you young guys start a non-profit? Julia, I would love to start a non-for-profit in this area, but I'm already in a non-for-profit area,
True.
and this is where you could go ahead and start, and some people, which is good. But I oftentimes remind people that try not to throw more on the plates that are already full.
True.
And look for other persons that may, because yes, I delve into the elderly because of the homeless population. So I'm already dealing with the homeless. My funds do go to the homeless elderly. My funds may not extend as far as the elderly in the homes or in your family, but it's already being done. And I think this is where persons like yourself civil society may need to jump on board. And we will work with you happily.
Correct.
We would think, but I have enough. I can speak for myself as it relates to dealing with the homeless in Barbados, which is at a very high number already, and has increased number already. More and more people. So I would love to support what you're doing, Julia. If you're willing to do it, you could always give me a call.
Said great.
Yeah.
She said great.
But yeah, Kimar was talking about the fact that we have also a population in the political arena that are what we call, or the better word people like to say, aged out. So we would like to hear from you as it relates to elderly in politics.
But I want to stick a pin right there too, because what I wanted to say is that because I think every person should know when it's time to hang up their hat or to hang up the boots. There's a song that Kenny Rogers says, they sing this song called The Gambler. You gotta know when to hold, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. And I think the same thing applies politically. You have to know when it's time to say, you know what, I can cash out. But even as I'm about to cash out, I am going to prepare for the next generation.
But do we do that?
No, we don't.
Do we plan for the young people to be involved in politics?
We do not. I can speak from my perspective. No, we don't.
And that's the thing. In business, you go to the bank for money, and they want to know what is your business plan, but what is your succession plan? And it feels like politics becomes a very selfish thing.
Every man for himself.
So I believe that if I was a minister of a particular constituency, which I will hold dear to my heart, that I will want to help groom 5 or 6 young persons, may not be one, after me, that I know that when I pass on the baton, or I pass on the baton as well and go to heaven, that the constituency is still served, because it doesn't stop when they die.
But you see, that's the thing about it, politics, and I blame the people too. And I would like people to message in and tell us what they're thinking about, because the electorate is still partly to blame too. Because so many times people revere these ministers and these members of parliaments like they're gods, and as if there's nobody else that can come and get a road fix in your constituency, that there's nobody else that can help get the legs for the playing field. That there's nobody else that could get hampers done every year or around Christmas time for the people. Politics is all about service. And at the end of the day, whether you're an older person or a younger person, you can serve.
Yeah.
But I think right now what we're beginning to see now is a changing of the guard, which is necessary.
Aisha is saying that you disagree and you kind of agree with the two term. Aisha, I am one that is for the two term.
Yeah.
American system is like that.
I disagree. I disagree.
No, meaning right.
I disagree is because
I like the two term.
I like two term.
no, I don't agree. If
Because you're young, you want to be.
No. If I'm doing the work, right? It comes back down to discrimination. Basically, right? I'm doing the work. I am successful at my job, right? If I go back to the electorate and the electorate chooses to continue to support me, that's their choice. But I don't think you should necessarily take away the right of a man to participate. Again, wait, just give me a second, right? Because, well, I may be young and eager, I may not know, I may not have the guidance or the wisdom, right? So, but what I am saying is you cannot necessarily disadvantage people based on age. This is a democracy.
Agree.
Right? And if you want to contest or if you want to do whatever, you should have the right to do so.
I agree.
But you should not seek to pass a law to disadvantage you or one set of persons because of age or experience. Open the fray, and if it's a democracy, all persons would contain, all ideas would contain, and then the best man may win.
But that's the thing with politics. We know the best man.
But,
and the best
American politics is where we give two terms.
Right.
And
I understand
it forces, what it forces, right? Because in somewhat when we have this mentality
This
that
is
we
for presidential elections.
no, I'm talking about in terms of the politics. When we allow people to run as long as they want, they're of the belief, of the belief that okay, everything I do in this term, I get do next term. It's like a lackadaisical approach.
Of course.
But if you know that you come to the people,
You got 10 years.
and you
buddy.
know within the 10 years you present the people with this, then you know you got 10 years to come up with a distinction or
It's like a degree.
something and walk out. I don't believe where you have a country with so much educated people
Correct.
that people need to be in politics and
For 30
even
and
not
40
not
years.
even in politics only, but even in political, even in high positions as it relates to civil service positions
Correct.
for so long, and they are not. Some of them are not even keeping up with the times.
No.
Some of them are still living in Stone Age eras, and you cannot get things back. Fresh ideas need to be brought to the
Correct.
table, but it needs to be also driven by people that has. Imagine, right? We can look at some of the George Payne or Trevor Prescott, who
Glenn.
ages at 70, 71. In the next election, 72, 74. I'm not saying that he's not a strong, capable man. But by the time the next election is called, he's almost 80.
Really?
What you can be doing at that age, holding his hand to a constituency?
All I'm
Come
saying
on.
is if he is fit and strong enough and he puts his name back into the fray and he is successful, there's nothing that should stop him or her from
But the
participating.
political history does not show,
So,
Kimar,
yeah.
people running past, entering into politics at 70.
But then that will come down to the organizational
Right, but
culture
that's why-
within
that's
within
why-
the
the culture
specific groups.
overall.
That's why I'm of the opinion, and I mean, and it may sound funny coming from me, but as a prime minister, right? You choose your team, though. That's what I believe. As a prime minister, I gotta be able to choose my team. If I'm a captain of a cricket team, I gotta be able to choose my team, set my field, determine who bowling spin, who bowling bounces, who gonna be fielding. And that's the thing about it. As a prime minister, as a leader of a party, and a leader of government, you have got to know the skills and the abilities of your team. And once you know the skills and ability of your team, you assign people to suit. That is what I believe. I am of the opinion that if you were the prime minister, you lead, because at the end of the day, all the decisions stop with you. You shouldn't micromanage. I don't agree with micromanagement. I don't believe that a prime minister has to be hovering over the shoulder of every minister, telling them what to do.
But I would have hoped that the previous prime minister, would have done that. That would have helped the country a lot. But I'm just saying for the masses.
Fair enough. But I really do think that there comes a time. You call me at the end of the day a party like the Democrat Labour Party right now. We've already heard from the masses. People say, look, change up the order, bring new faces. Are we going to suffer another 30 love defeat? And they're saying, no, well,
We should have did it.
We should have brought some new faces to the electorate. That's nonsense.
But still,
if the people are saying, well, look, I don't mind you bring back one or two of the old guard, but we want some fresh faces.
I understand you're right.
Yeah, some of the old guard
but still, the DLP made some innovations in terms of its candidate selection. And at the point that I
agree with you.
At the point that I made,
but you haven't said
I'm speaking about processes. I'm speaking about processes.
Oh, because we haven't seen the candidate.
And the point that I made is, if whoever, old or young, initiates the process and puts themselves into a democratic process, may the best man win, young or old. I do not necessarily agree with the fact that call you old, don't come back. If you old and you come back and you get through the process, that means that you're the best man.
I want to necessarily say you're the best man.
Yeah, I just think that, listen,
the best man.
The processes or even the Democratic Labour Party in choosing is kind of confusing. Because here's what. The processes is not a democratic process because it is not one where people see, like the Barbados Labour Party, where you could come to a nomination and you could see and you could vote. So we have two elections. We have our nomination and we have our election. But at the end of the day, in the Democratic Labour Party, you're just going to hear candidates get thrown. You never know what was the process.
No.
You know, you never know how they were chosen. But they would just be thrown. And we, the people, have to now accept the unwanted of the unwanteds. You understand? Because here's what. We the public cannot go. We only have one thing to say we don't want them. And that is our election.
True.
But at the end of the day, I think the democratic approach, like how you see America got caucuses and America got regional in terms of state-wise voting for who you want as a representative or a Democrat, Republican or Democrat or Tea Party, whatever, that is a process that the people want to see. I don't think in 21st century, hidden ballots are done and then you throw me out Simon and nobody don't want Simon, or you throw me out Kimar and nobody don't want Kimar. Where is the process that says Kimar, Simon and Kimar three of us can stand on the platform, present ourselves and be able to present ourselves to people, and the people say, yes, I want you, or no, to hell with you.
You're not now, or not
it
you,
has
not
to
now,
change.
whatever. I agree.
Then your party, the Democratic Labour Party, will always be made to suffer in this country because the problem is you can always give we Mobby when we wanted water. Just say.
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day,
race will be good.
No, but you have a point. I think that any political party that wants to survive has to listen to the voice of the people.
Yeah, and
right? You got to listen to the people, the constituents, and you got to get a general feel of what is happening on the ground. And I think that sometimes we miss the mark. Sometimes we hold on to old loyalties and old ties, and we think, you know what? I like this person. It's hard to like a person, yeah. Because some people like me, some people don't. That's not really the point.
Welcome to the
yes, we are Barbados, and we're welcome to life. The reality is, if the person, do you think they have what it takes to get the support to take the party, give the party a win, and also get elected into the House of Assembly? I think that's very important.
Again, my point is, I think y'all guys want to play kid glove politics. If there's not a Sunday school, right? And if you are eligible, I should be eligible at 100 FAC fit, as long as I could go out in the community, or I could get my branch or whoever to vote for me, right? So it comes down to.
That's the problem with the branches.
Yeah, but is that kiddie club politics, or is it selfish politics?
I am understanding where you're coming from, but my point is a competitive arena. So you cannot necessarily have an anti-competitive.
But should it be?
But this is the nature of
politics.
I
mean, like, politics you see as a service.
Correct.
And as a service,
if you have served already, if you've served already,
but
you've done your best.
Okay, y'all mixing up between a political culture and...
Tammy Davis is saying, to be honest, I believe more official posts should be elected and not appointed. And I agree with her.
That's a good point, Tammy. Very good point, Tammy.
But Tammy, could you give us an example of which one you would like to see being elected?
Well, Tammy gave her answer. Here's my problem.
Isis King, is also saying we need Senate races.
Yeah, but that's
11 senators for the 11 parishes. Wow.
Here's what I think. Senators, etc., should go through the process of facing the electorate. And I agree with you.
That's a good point, Tammy.
But here's my point to Kimar. When we think selfish, not only do we, the people, not only do you suffer, the person that is going up, but also your party suffers.
Correct.
Because you may have one bad apple in your bunch, that spoils the whole team to lose. So again, that is what I'm saying, that you may not want to come and trust somebody in the people's face saying, this is who I want to run, because you feel. So for example, let me give a logical example. We hear that Dennis Law is coming back to the race. Ideally, Dennis Law is no one that the people want to see, because of what had transpired in previous office which he held. No party and the party he associated himself with, it would be hard. Our people have to be blind, dumb, and muted to allow for him to come back in and sit in the thing. So here's what you cement Wilfred Abraham another term.
But I fear to say it.
And it's not wanted.
The point is that Dennis Law went through the process that I spoke to you all about, right? Dennis Law, I mean, not speaking about internal party.
Well, he would have passed the branch and the executive. He had to get the nod from all angles to be able to think.
Okay, so that means that Law was able to command the confidence of certain persons.
Of a branch. It's like America, he command the caucus. He didn't command the majority.
So
he command the caucus.
My thing is, in saying that no one wants him would be an indictment on those persons who would have had the confidence in him.
But no,
and then he passed both levels of our executive, so that means you try to chum the whole party.
Okay, let's ask a question then. Were there other nominees for that particular seat within the party? And what showed that, correct, they probably backed out. So by de facto, he would have been the only person. So let's say he went by de facto. De facto don't mean that nobody wanted you.
But every man
on challenge don't mean that nobody wanted you.
But every man who was in dropped out. That's his personal.
Correct. But what caused it? Was it fear? Was it the unbiasedness?
If he dropped out, that means that he's not a man that we want.
No, it's not a man, because people in politics set up and play nasty games that will cut you if you do not stand strong in politics. That can say, listen, as much as you want this seat, if this body running, you come and spread it, you know, if you running, you again, and negativity and whatever they set up, who on the executive and who on the voting board, and give them the seat back. So we know that politics is a dirty, nasty game, and it plays on.
But even bigger than that, I mean, even beyond the
that's why we need the people to vote.
Correct. But even beyond the person, though, I think that any political party, especially Democrat Labour Party, I mean, PDP, they're doing their thing, DLP, you got to listen to what the public is saying and what the public said from 2018 to now. At the end of the day, you want to win government. And you can only win government by getting majority seats, right? Now, if you set up yourself in such a way that you get few or no seats, it means then that you have no opportunity to change the fate of the party. And if you're not careful, you can set back that organization based on your
by years, not days.
By years, because don't think, and that's another thing too, I always say, just because people might be upset with a decision that the current government doing, it doesn't mean that you got their support, you know.
Correct.
It doesn't mean that you got their support. Just because a man and woman argue tonight in the house,
don't mean I ain't gonna sleep in the same bed.
Okay. So, and it's the same thing. So
say.
I think we have to look beyond just personalities and look beyond just, you know, we say, well, this man, he ran before, he was good, blah, blah, blah. He passed the test, whatever. And look at the bigger picture. Do you have a team that will be able to command votes? I mean, you gotta listen to the political pundits. You gotta listen to the George Bells.
What do you gain? What do you gain by coming back? If you serve in a position, and that's why I'm always mindful of people telling me, if I see other causes out there, go and pick them up.
No, it don't work, sir.
It don't work like that. It
don't work, sir.
We as young people, we are all political in terms of we have the ability to be the next politician. Yeah? And we have the next politician. We have the ability because we already command a certain sector of our society. People love us. People like us. Some people dislike us. We understand that as well. But we are young people that are ambitious, and we are the next generation. We are the people that the young people call to speak at the schools. We are the young people that speak here. Presentation. Yeah. We are the same people that some of the politicians call to speak on platform.
That's right.
Right. And at the end of the day, we too have that ability to give to our country from that policy level. So I find it selfish when we think ministers could, MPs rather, could sit down in parliament for 40 years and sing anniversary, and at the end of 40 years sometimes have little to nothing to show. And what they can say, yes, they secure a pension, yes, they build a house out of the parliament, and I'm not saying all haven't done work. They have done, but there comes a time where that passion runs out. Correct. There comes a time where you cannot act in the community the way you used to act. There comes a time that you have to slow your butt and go along home. Correct. And make with, and we too have to understand that when our time will come too. Our time will come.
So you think that George Payne and Trevor Prescott should be out?
Yes.
I think, yeah.
In the next election, they should not run back, in my opinion. Nah. For what? To give what to Barbados? They already gave to Barbados,
they gave the best,
and we appreciate them. You know, one of the things that is fundamentally wrong with this country is that at the time where we could go in our prime, we don't go in our prime or upon our high. But something will come and take us out. And all the good we have done is evilly spoken of.
Of course.
And that is where now that we could, I say, we can go ahead and say thank you, round of applause, give you a nice party, and let you go along. I don't see the need for running in politics till 80. I even had a problem with the speaker, Chadaham, at his age coming back. Because some young person could have taken the task and run as president of the
because if you don't be careful, right, what's going to happen in this country? We can got brain drain, B.
Yeah.
Everybody leaving, you know? People leaving and going overseas.
Because they're not getting opportunity because people are stuck in the way. The permanent secretary jobs that we have in this country. We have people sitting down in permanent secretary position, permanent. The only body I know that got permanent is a horse that got permanent shoes. And they're stifling the growth of the country. Correct. Because it's there, we are the highway. I'm not saying all, but I'm just saying two terms is fine. Correct. So I agree with the people, 2 terms is fine. I also agree with Raul Williams when he said, in terms of independent candidate Senate, I believe that there should be a voting for the Speaker of the House to be an independent person, and so that balance and order can be done. And I also believe that the Senate should be an independent body. Yes, I also believe that the party should get at least 2 to 3 seats. Of course, the 3 they have. But a balance, and we should be able to have that on there. But I'm of the belief that the system needs to change as it relates to people thinking that they can hold on to politics, and them is the only politicians that could be in here. And if you're done, you want to pass on to your son, you want to pass on to your daughter, your aunt, your uncle, and 3 generations down. That is crap in these times.
Because Henderson, you're saying here, Lowe needs to help push some younger, fresh blood to the fore. I don't think he is right. He's the right person to run on the future DLP Christchurch. And
I agree. Ticket. And we will get him on this show and they will tell him the same thing.
Me too.
You understand? So, Raul is saying no party has lost after 1 term. Certainly, a party with 30 seats will not lose after 1 term. DLP need to focus on regaining some of the seats. They will not win government. I think DLP know that they will not win government.
That's not true. DLP could win government.
Could win government.
Could win government if everything's self-destruct and blow up. You wishing for the worst?
But even if that is something, I get it.
I don't think so.
We're not really slate of candidates are hearing to come back. If the government, listen, and what the DLP has to be careful of, you know, is that it is not the only party running.
You're damn right.
So
already vote splitting. You know, already vote splitting.
But we got PDP. I know Sure Gravel and he won Army, is coming back.
Yeah.
We know Sure Solution. There's other parties that may arise.
So votes are splitting. Votes gonna be splitting. So I mean, it's not walking in the park for any person.
I agree with you, ISIS. Politics is not a career.
Well said.
I think that's the best thing I've ever heard on this show in comments. Politics is not a career. It is a service to the country.
So, and to prove that it's service, you do your time and then you pass on the mantle.
And move on. I would not. If I get in politics tomorrow, I will want, as the Prime Minister has said, she looking at the 2 term, and I will move on
after
to the 2 term. The Bajan People Movement, aka BPM.
BPM.
Yeah, and you know we had a lot of parties in the last election, and that again, some of those parties did really good.
Yeah, they got votes.
Yeah. I even heard that some members getting 1,000 votes in some of them parties that didn't have
they did. So votes will split. Votes will split.
I just believe that when your time is up, I don't even want to work at the Barbados Alliance and Homelessness all my life.
No.
There's a point I want to hand over my mantle to somebody and go along and look. I believe there's other services or other causes or other things around the world that I want to do and that we want to serve.
Yeah, because right now there's a lot of apathy right now in politics. I mean, but around people's perception of politicians and perception to government is like, you know, yeah, we want politics, we want change, but is this the change that we wanted? And the mantra that you hear among people on the ground is that, all politicians is the same, all political parties is the same. And after a while, I mean, even for me, coming from the D's, I'm like, no, that's not true. But then when I sit and study about it, I have to say to myself, we gotta do things differently, and you show that you're doing things differently by your selection and by how you do business.
I think though, if politicians will start coming with real plans of how to develop this country,
correct,
rather than the
attacking
or the football
issues.
match or showing up at events and all of this,
correct,
and come away from the camera moment, but do within the community and do within the ministry, then we could say, Kimar, let me keep them. But in most cases, it is what optics. It is. You know. I remember a time a minister was saying that he was heading to a meeting and he forget the notes and he couldn't get the meeting. He didn't know what to say.
Wow.
So he didn't even understand what he was going to speak about.
He internalized it.
And
we have a comment from me. The LP needs
comments.
better communication and a more dynamic team. Leadership skills is lacking, even in the BLP. Who do we see after the current PM? Wow, I can't answer that question.
Correct.
But that's for the B's to answer, yeah? Henderson, you notice that after 2008 elections, or should I say 2018 elections, Mia set about to find fresh blood. Sorry, that's 2008, he's right.
Yeah.
Henderson, you're right. Notice that after 2008 elections, Mia said about to find fresh blood before she was overthrown.
20 fresh blood from the Marshall Yaddle, back down to the Ryan Strong, to the Adrian Ford.
Yeah.
You understand?
Fresh blood.
We could have gone to John King. All of those were fresh blood. So every prime minister saw it with her wisdom to bring in 20 new blood. You're telling me that the Democratic Labour Party, having no wisdom, gonna bring in 20 of the same political destruction that we had in this country?
I must say distraction, not disappointment.
No, distraction and disappointment. This is how I feel. I cannot feel good going and casting my vote next to low name. I don't even. You got open for you. I don't even. Sorry, you just got open for them. I don't even feel good seeing the name on the ballot. I don't feel good seeing Michael Lashley name or Stephen Lashley name. I feel good seeing the Simon Ali and the Kimar Safri and all of these.
I agree with you. I mean, it's unfortunate how you feel about Dennis Lowe, but on the other hand, there are persons who.
It's not how I feel about him. I have no personal vendetta. I'm just saying
but you do not agree with him as a candidate. But as I told you, at the end of the day, the people of Christchurch East will have to decide if they're going to give Dennis Lowe a chance, right?
I would like to see the people of Christchurch East decide that even before the general election, so that if that was the case, to save the DLP face of destruction and continuous defeat, Ronnie, to save the defeat and continuous destruction of the Democratic Labour Party, I would have liked to see the constituency decide on if they wanted Kimar Stewart or as a candidate or Dennis Lowe. So the people get a fair balance of candidacy, so that when you bring that person to the forum, the person can say, the people had a chance to say they wanted Kimar Stewart or Dennis Lowe. So I'm just saying, you save a little bit of face by allowing the people to choose between two or between. But don't come tell me that you can come and throw the candidate to me, and I suppose I have said that like some lappy dog in this 21st century. It can't work.
To make the democratic process a lot more democratic, you need to have the debates and the head-to-heads and so on. I think that's one thing the American system allows. Candidates, if 2 people or even 6 people interested to run for president, to run for whatever, you have some kind of internal debate, even within the party level. That's what we need to do.
Yeah,
so that people can get to see and people can get to understand the perspective of persons.
Yeah, read this comment from Roger and Tammy.
Roger, Miss Marley will only be 55 this year. She is young but has been in active politics since 1991. I can see her retiring after 2 terms because she has been AG, PM, etc. I don't get Payne's point when he has been around since 1991 and really hasn't achieved much politically. And then we got Tammy. I think deciding by the people is based on a lot of familiarity, not substance.
You remember, I see Tammy hitting that something here. Debates is necessary. We had debates. Remember, I set up several debates. Actually, when election was called, I had the leader of I had Lynette Eastwood, leader of PPP up. United Progressive Party.
Yeah.
I had also Graham Phillips, the leader of the
Solutions.
Solution. And I had Rodney Grant from the Democratic Labour Party, Sonia, and also Ms. Sandra Husband from the Barbados Labour Party. There was somebody else, I can't remember. BIM, Barbados Integrity Movement.
Oh, yeah, BIM.
So I had everybody on this debate at Radisson's Hotel, and that is actually when election was called. I did several debates during election. They didn't get as much air as they should, but I did several elections.
But with this platform now, you can. I mean,
you can have it. You need. I believe in fear, and I believe that we need a platform where we can hear whether or not the people that are going into politics are dummies. Because many times
that would have helped us.
That would have. I believe that people say that. Listen, even if the Democratic Labour Party want to look at a different approach for the Barbados Labour Party, bring your candidates, let them debate each other on the stage, and let the people say who they want.
Agreed.
Even if your only members of the party say who they want, there need to be a democratic process. And I'm quite disappointed in Verla de Pisa for not bringing that kind of innovation to the party. Because if you are saying to me, law is already the duly elected representative. Now it has to pass the branch and it has to pass the executive.
Right. But that's the thing, and that's why I understand where Kimar is coming from. When I really study it,
Which one?
Kimar, but both of them is S. Stuart, if he has met the criteria, because don't forget, the branches this time around have a greater say. The branches, but the problem too is that, not really a problem, but we have a lot of branches that still have a lot of ties to former MPs, and that's why it is important that for those persons that want to run, you got to bring your own team, as I say. You got to try and get people to not necessarily infiltrate the branch, but to get your agenda pushed in the branch. I've been fortunate to be branch chairman in St. Michael North, and I've done a lot. But I think that one of the major challenges is to change that culture, to change that mindset, because people like familiarity. And I think that's one of the points that even people saying.
Content.
Right, people like familiarity. So even though you might present someone new, you really gotta come good to get the support of persons who would have been in the party for a while and have an attachment or a sentiment to those who were there before.
Read this comment. Which one, Roger? Go ahead, Simon.
Oh dear. Is it a DLP leader a two-time loser that already is a non-starter, especially against the current DLP leader?
Well,
but although a person may not win at the electoral politics level, it doesn't mean that they can't lead a party, or at least be, because even though let's say that we change and we get another political president, that person might be a 3 or 4-time loser too.
Yeah, but I would like to say I'm a big supporter of the Pisa as president, because I probably haven't seen anybody that I would give the vote to if I was in Democratic Party. I think she has the potential to be an excellent leader, and if she chooses correctly with her seat, she'll be in there for a long time to come. And I hope it doesn't end here at just being president of the party and then
for a time, and then that's it.
Yeah. And I think that, as I said, it comes with the innovative idea that I was looking for, where Verla would have brought some serious change and would have put into perspective what she wanted as a party. I can't block a lot of these people from coming in.
But what I can say is this: the whole candidate selection process was brought to the It's not perfect. It's not perfect. It was brought to make the branches have a greater say, because over the years the branches said, well, look, so many times we might want someone, whatever, and then it goes down to George Street, and everything get. That's it.
The caucuses, Hillary Clinton would have won based on popular vote. But the caucuses, which was just the 200 and whatever, electoral college, which was just small people, made the whole party gave the country the worst president that some people think in history.
True.
So the branch may not always be the best deciding factor for who they want to send for, because I can say, Simon, I want to run. Go and put up your name for president, go put up your name for secretary, go put up your name for floor member, and I have my people in there. I am calling for the Democratic Labour Party for there to be a democratic process, and I believe that I think that there is not is there an inclusive democratic process where I, as a general public, or I as a member,
the challenge is the branches. The challenge is the branch, and to try to influence the branch. That
I heard a branch chairman say that if Donovan Ennis came back, he would be taking him as a candidate.
It's true. That was in the paper.
F. Creamer, Safri, question to you.
Yes, sir.
F.U.
Where's the question, panel?
F.U.
You the moderator.
were the leader of the Democratic Party today, would you, within all your efforts, agree and allow Dennis Lowe to be the candidate
No.
for good? Hold on.
No.
You just said that you agree with having Verla and you think she will be a what leader? A strong leader?
Strong leader.
A strong leader?
I think she would be.
Yeah, she would be.
That's the
Therefore,
hope.
Green is right.
Therefore, I cannot sit here and agree with you to say that she would be a strong leader based upon what we have seen so far from the lady.
There's room for
regarding her hold on. Regarding her political stint as leader, one. Also regarding her being a candidate, a failed candidate, not once, but how many times, Simon?
I think about twice.
Okay, good. And she was only put in place the first time after getting less than 30% of the votes against Stanabed. Am I correct?
Yeah, to some degree. I think
So that doesn't mean I'm not ambitious for her.
Yeah,
No.
Bring me a leader there.
Hold on.
Bring me a leader.
Here it is that Kimar Safri is saying
Kimar Stewart.
that the political process within the Democratic Party selecting a candidate is democratic.
It is
but
not.
whereas Kimar Stewart, that we have Verla de Pisa that first came into politics after not being the popular vote by her branch.
So that's why they wanted to change it. So you see now what's happened is become full circle. It's come full circle. We're now the branch will select the person that they want to send forward. Although they will send forward one name. I believe, and for me, more than one name should go down, and then it should be voted upon. That's what I believe.
Why don't you guys go to the, I'm just a solution-oriented guy. And I'm saying that I believe that if you want to be different from the Barbados Labour Party, which is fine, let's do a debate where that person or persons can debate on a stage of, it could be internal only,
But
where members also have
that process did happen where
they debated? Or they debated or how they
There was no
debated?
debate. There was no debate.
there were times when, well, no time, every candidate that was selected so far in the party had to go through an interview process where they presented,
with the
where they
branch,
would have
yeah.
presented, and persons made a choice based on who they wanted.
How many persons made up of the branch?
But branch numbers vary, and since the last election, the numbers would have dwindled.
But this is
The
branch executive
but-
or branch members?
Right,
So
branch members, but within the branch executive, there is a branch selection committee. So it starts there. So it's a smaller group within the branch that chooses, and then it goes to general council and so on, and executive and
But
so on.
all persons are given the opportunity to present themselves before the members, and then the members would vote. So it leaves room for persons to engage the political process of the party.
But the only thing is that the branch selection committee usually
just
sends
wanna
down one name.
a committee.
That's what they
If
charge.
I correct, a committee come off of a board, which is normally made up of a smaller number of
Correct.
people.
So the branch
So
selection
that
committee
that
small.
is even worse, because if your
Smaller.
board is made up of 50 people and you select, this is the branch committee here, selection committee, it would always be very small, and that is where you can infiltrate.
but-
So it's not a fair
But I
process.
just wanted to
Sorry, go ahead.
Kimar Stewart just highlighted about it leaves room. What I would say, it leaves room for me, a person that isn't a member of the Democratic Labour Party, that looking from the outside in, it leaves room for me to say that after going through the last 10 years of members within the party that is alleged for doing a lot of wrongdoing, and Dennis Lowe is one person that has a lot of allegations above his name, and you still go ahead, not listen to nothing to do with Barbados, the population of Barbados in the last election, whereas they don't want any of these guys, and you go ahead and select Dennis Lowe again.
But you
It shows me that the party is not ready for the next
Are
election.
not serious.
It shows me that the party doesn't care about what the population of Barbados think about them. It shows me that the Democratic Labour Party is not ready to lead the country now, or even in the future.
But it's not only
And
about
it's sad
him, it's
because
also about other
of one
members.
candidate.
Opposition,
Not one candidate, but
the idea of the party to put that candidate in power. That's the whole idea. The kind of candidate that you're putting in power. to lead.
But it's asking the question too: is it where the Democratic Labour Party is disregarding young
Majority
people?
of persons out there in the
Is it disregarding young
population,
people?
the population regard him as a big joke.
But that could be your opinion.
It's not my opinion. I just
But
said.
look at the comments coming from.
I just
look at
saying
the
that.
comment.
Okay,
But
I just
Kimar,
saying that
Mike,
if you go to Christchurch East, I ask people how they feel about Dennis, so that would be a better
but
measurement.
but probably we should bring
Hold
a show and do the show.
We went to Christchurch East, you said it was?
Yes.
2 years ago in 2018. And they showed you that they do not want Dennis Lowe. So why would you want to bring him back again?
So you would if the Prime Minister right now adopt that same attitude when she lost, when she first ran, we would have never had who she is right now.
Who?
Hold on.
But
Did
the Prime Minister-
Mia Money lost, you see?
Never lost the seat.
So what are you speaking about, Kimar
But
Stewart?
what I'm saying is, okay, let me take the personal part out of it front low, right? You ran, you lost. You went through the process, he came out on top, right?
Okay.
He came out on top of the process, right? So if we say that we want the party to be a party of democracy and not dictatorship, how is it that your personal feeling, say for instance you're the president of the party,
If I was the president party,
You don't really-
Dennis Lowe and all the others
Well, not-
will not even be on that list.
But we can't take out
That's what me as the president would do.
take out personal
But
feelings
what I'm
out of it
saying
because
is-
But no,
personally
but you can't.
Every
Listen to me.
democratic
Listen to me.
process,
you
There's
got
no
to-
possible way in
got
my
to-
management team that I will have any criminal, any person that is said to be a thief in my team. I'm not saying that he's a thief. I'm just
Alleged.
saying anybody that have the
Alleged.
slightest allegation that he's a thief, that he's a rapist, that he's X, Y, or Z, he will not be a part of my listing of persons or candidates.
allegations if I know if them is true or not.
But you hear what he said? I don't care if what says an allegation and there's enough evidence up there or information
Just
up there
substantiate.
to lead me to believe that he did X, Y, or Z. He will not be on that list. And y'all taking this thing for a joke. Y'all taking Barbadians for a joke. This is not no comedy show. I know Samuel's a comedian. So if he's leading, he's what? The vice president? The second or third vice president? So we have a comedian here. Comedian
don't
right
even know.
next to me on my left.
But-
that is up there, the
the money-
management,
the
and
money-
taking the country for a
as
joke.
I said,
Never.
this goes to show me because in the way that is blowing about, you're hearing of several names.
Of course you are.
No, here's what. It leads me then to wonder about your future
And mine,
and
bro.
about your future as as political people. I'm not in the Democratic Party, but as the person that I will to get in politics, even if I had but the ounce to get in the party
But no
tomorrow,
wait, boy.
I do not see. I see a better future with me, the Barbados Party, than to go into the Democratic Party. Reason, I think that a lot of the young people have been disregarded
Well said.
as future politicians in this country, and that is where I make and continue to make the point that I do not believe, right, that these people should be in politics, and these people have served the country, and some of them don't let me mistake of some Barbadians might forget. Don't think that Dennis Lowe and Fonda Stewart and Chris Sinclair, Richard Seeley, and some of these have no come to politics. They were in before. I'm talking about as candidates in the parties and as run against politicians. So people might think that they didn't wait because Stewart was in politics before, in election before, and longer than a lot of people. So don't think that these people are newbies. These people have served. And I'm saying give us the chance as young people to be able to come and show the people of Barbados what we have to give.
There is a chance for young people
When
to do it.
2020, 30?
No.
When Simon is 90 and I go in here for a person I don't even want to call.
Correct.
But when the official announcement comes out, to bring
When
forward
it come
the
out?
DLP,
10 days before election?
I was only president of the Young Democrats.
Well, tell me when the Young Democrats will bring candidates then. Because they want to when the Young Democrats candidates will come out.
We don't feel candidates, but what
No,
I'm
we
saying
don't
is
feel candidates.
the Young Dems don't.
But
feel-
that's nonsense. Your candidate selection should always start within your young people.
Sure.
Your young people should be
yes,
trained
young
up.
people are on the ballot, but are on the ballot for the DLP.
You said bottom or ballot?
It's like ballot.
I said bottom. But no, Kimar, listen.
what I'm saying
Where's
is-
the young people?
Let's hear Kimar
What I'm
getting a
saying
sale
is
point.
that
Keep more than speak.
there is room for young people to put them names on the ballot. It is a competitive process that young people could equip themselves with the requisite skills and come forward and challenge the process if they feel like they're viable. the point that you're making is that you all you serve, so just shut your hands and think. There's room for younger people, new ideas, as comment as the person that commented said, but you are seeking now to necessarily discriminate people off of the fact that you serve so long. What the point that I was making is, if young people believe that they have a right to serve, come forward and challenge the process.
Threatened.
Yeah, but you try, but then you fail.
They're threatened by names. They're threatened by names. They're threatened by people with money. They're threatened by people who was there before. So there's a lot of blockage.
There is.
In terms of people like me or any of you having a chance to the Democratic Labour Party door, because the things that are in your way will make you run before you even, and even if you put down your name, you will withdraw just like the person that
if you want to run the country and you let them sort of things run you, I don't
But
understand.
no, come on, it's not about just that.
Top politics is all about timing too as well, right? And the thing about it is this, and that's one of the things that I have seen. One of the things that I have seen. I've seen it in the Democratic Party, and sometimes you see it in other parties too. There is a lot of mentorship. We cannot have, as a political organization, a crab in a bucket mentality. And that is what usually happens when there are a lot of the internal elections and so on within political organizations. You see it in the Dems, you see it in the Bs, but not to that regard. If you're talking about the future, one of the things that is important for you to take care of your future or safeguard the future is mentorship. Mentorship is important. Where the older fellas or the guys that would have run and held office for 10 and 15 years will come and say, well, look, you know what? I am politically mature, and I understand that with any political organization, the political pendulum begins to swing the other side. And that is when, in your wisdom, you will say, you know what, I need to look for a successor. And I'm saying to you, Kima, both of you, that that is not necessarily the case in the Democratic Labour Party. We need to look towards mentoring and shaping people for the future. Because at the end of the day, we see what the Barbados Labour Party is doing. They're doing succession planning. They're looking down the road. They're changing candidates. There's a reshuffle has occurred. So the Prime Minister clearly understands what it is that she wants to do. And if she has to move around the pieces, if she has to move around the pieces on the chessboard, she will do so, because as a Prime Minister, you have that right to select the team that you want.
Can we use an example with Shafak? Example, quote unquote. Let me use this. Sir Assad Halut trained up Ryan Halut. Because Assad Halut is not the future. Ryan Halut is busy training up his young girls to be able to take on the matter. That is succession planning. But I think that the point that I've been trying to get across is this selfish tail mentality. To think that when you come to politics, that chair there belongs to you
forever and ever.
No.
So Simon, do you have the ear of your leader?
Of course.
And so if you do, why is it that it seemed to me that I'm looking from the outside inside that she's mentoring people like Dennis Lowe?
Before you order that, I must agree. Read this one. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. I want you to read that one.
Right. So.
You can't say
that. Make him bear much for it. Go ahead.
The audio back?
Go ahead, yeah. Was it nepotism when Miss Thompson took over from the late David Thompson?
Nah.
Nah. What she is to him?
But the people wanted her. The people that said John appeared to want her. They wanted her at the time.
I want to talk with nepotism, and a lot of nepotism going on right now, and you were having a comment about it. Like the wife of a minister currently have one top jobs in the health sector in Barbados.
She's qualified. She's qualified.
She's qualified. Don't you know her qualifications?
So,
But you
You
can't
can't talk about
qualifications.
nepotism and not bring that in.
Miss
If
Thompson
you
is
talk
not
about
But there's no qualifications.
But Miss Thompson is not qualified.
The people wanted
First
to
of all,
vote
why
for her.
sorry, Parliament? I think she was qualified to be at the bottom of the barrel with the crabs. That thing Matt Simon spoke about recently.
I think that the people in St. John wanted her. Don't forget there was a big sympathy
Yeah,
there
I
too
think-
as
I
well.
think- I think it
they
was.
wanted her. But by the end of the day, even the thing about it is that when you get into office, that is your time to show your
It's
worth.
sad, it's sad that they wanted her to do nothing. But now I'm glad and I'm happy to have Charles Griffith that's there to help the
Aye,
people
aye.
and to support them. I know he's doing an excellent
So
job.
if
me-
you
let me-
can solve the water problem, you can solve the water problem. innit?
Charles may lost his seat in St. John next election. So
To who?
promoting
To who?
promoting.
To who?
The candidate be a
Wait, it can't be, no, it can't be lost to win fight and crack cakes.
To who, Chris?
Wait, no.
To who's he good at?
No, what I'm saying,
Charles-
yeah, about that.
Charles-
Here's what I'm saying. It cannot be lost to win fight and crab cakes, because nobody running.
I don't know who will beat Charles.
Charles will go on a post.
He probably need beat with a stick or something.
Charles will lose
I
his
don't know.
parliamentary seat in St. John to the Democratic Party next election.
right.
Here's why I like about this what being said.
Optimism.
Young need to show their potential outside of the party in order to
Yes.
and now I believe I smoke in my own pipe, but we have and that's why I said earlier too
Yeah, it's really a
that
profile.
we need to build profiles, and that's why I showed that persons like the person that were around the persons here around the table have that profile because we have the ear of people, we have the influence we have been doing within our community, and it didn't take politics for us to do. So yes, I am of the firm believer, but you know one thing I find contradicting about that is that for years we've also voted for people that have never done shirk in this country.
That's right.
For years we voted
That's
for people that
right.
just put a name
That's right.
on a ballot, and because it sounded good on a platform, we went on and vote. You know, some of us were really upset with the fact that Blackhead went on stage and disrespect Mayor Motley the way how he disrespect. But that was always politics. And that was always the politics that we favored. It's just that it went too deep.
It went too deep.
But at the end, that was where we saw S. Wake and all of these and call I want to Johnny my boy and curse literal bad words on stage with babies in the audience. The nasty stinking politics that we grow so accustomed to.
Right.
But you will never hear that from me. I don't take any of the respect.
I am not about that. I ain't
that.
attacking no, but listen to me, there's certain things you don't
Who
attack.
sleep with who
I
and
don't care who you
this
sleeping
and
with,
that.
who you got, how many children you got, who you claim as your children, or who you don't claim.
Correct.
That is not my business. My business is attacking the issues of the day. Like I said in a newspaper article regarding COVID, I do think that we need, and I'm pleased that the government of Barbados would have brought some changes, updated the travel protocols to get into Barbados. But we do know that we have to protect our population from COVID, because we know that all the cases so far regarding COVID have been imported. But going back to politics, I understand where Kimura Stewart is coming from. Don't get me wrong. But you have to feel the pulse of the people. And if the people are saying, well, look, we want a team that is different, or a team that has in different people. I'm not just saying go out there and choose anybody. All of those persons who come forward, who are new, who are fresh, that bring a different perspective. I think that any right-thinking person in a branch, or the general council, or executive,
But we're not disregarding
should
bringing back
Correct.
all, you know. There's just a handful
Correct.
who the country do not trust,
Correct.
who the country do not
Let me
feel
answer all the
comfortable with.
questions. Every next election, the people in St. Andrew and St. George North and St. Michael North decides, well, we want back George and Topping and Glen. What is there to stop George, Topping and Glen in
The BLP, let me answer that. The BLP nomination process is that of a democratic process where any sitting MP can be challenged at the nomination. It's not, I don't think history has proven it has been done. But if a sitting MP who chooses to run back is challenged on that day by a person that gets up and say, I would like to nominate minority or whatever, and the person get their second or first voted and give their speech on the night or whatever, then that person can be challenged based on the branch and the persons within that branch. And if Mr. Payne is successful, he will be the elected person to run in the election. If John is selected, he will be the duly elected person to run. But there's a democratic process which the people have a say in it.
But based on the money suggestions, he's saying that is there any possible way that the leadership of the organization could influence the selection process? That will come back down to possible corruption and corrupting the process. As much as you just explained it, the process you just put forward is very much similar to that of the DLP.
No, just let me answer it.
Not as much fanfare as
No, let me answer it. Whereas the people, you as a candidate do the groundwork. So you can join up members, you can have more people. The more members you join, you have on your side.
I think that was the
so the problem is harder for anybody in the hierarchy to infiltrate that candidate selection process because the process in which it's run is always based on candidates and about how much people you sign up, how much people you influence, how much doors you knock on all of that. Now in your process, whereas Simon could go and knock at a number that we've seen it proven, Simon going out there doing work, but yet another candidate who have probably not even gone out there done nothing was selected above him because of a name, because of money, or because he was there before, or because she was brought, and that process is frustrating because you could cause a lot of disparity in the party, you could cause dysfunction, you could cause bitterness, and the party then will not straight. So that's why the Barbados Labour Party process is one that is very successful because it's always based on the candidates' reach towards the people.
I understand where you're coming from, for sure.
You understand? So let's take some comments here for a minute. Some of the local COVID policies are wishy-washy from the government department. We could touch that. Time here.
If there's substance, personal attacks won't be necessary. Plus, as a ruling party, you shouldn't have the advantage based on your work, which is true. These guys are proven to be selfish. Why would Lord Payne want to come back? What more is there to gain?
All right, we'll see if we have any more.
That is the problem with politics in BIM. Politicians think the seat belongs to them until eternity. Look, when Sandy lost the lynch, he decided that it was time to move on. Lowe is also someone with health issues. Man, move on and give someone else a chance, man. The branch administration lacking vision and guts to say to Lowe, thank you. That mentorship should include shadow ministers, young people who will tail current ministers, learning the right way.
All right.
Those are good points.
What?
Mahmoud was saying that St. Andrew already got Dr. Romel Springer for the
Bees,
but
man.
Mahmoud could tell you that there's a rumor on the ground that Lisa Cummings is supposed to go to St. Andrew. So you want to confirm that for us, Mahmoud?
Yeah, the thing about that though, Mahmoud, is that we have to understand again the Barbados Labour Party process is a democratic process. Well, it is said that Dr. Romel Springer, or Senator rather Romel Springer, is the ideal candidate for their. It is never cemented until you are the candidate. I remember a man said to me straight, when do you know when a car turn right? Do you know? When it turn right. So you can never see a car coming and see the indicator on, turn it for right and take, because the person will go straight.
It could go straight. Correct.
So at the end of the day, you never know until that part, because here's what. On the day of nomination, 20 people could get up and say that they want to be nominated. Cut Romel Springer's vote, and somebody that don't even want get in because his vote is higher in tally than that of the person that they cut. So again, the democratic process is one which we have to watch. I am the preferably term limits needs to be set. Get your 10 years in and get your tail out and let somebody else get in. And I will take the same term limit if I'm interested in politics in the future. And I sure know other people. And the Prime Minister said it outrightly that's something that she's looking to institute.
That'd be groundbreaking if she does.
And that would be wonderful, because we do not need people. There are too much brainiacs in this country. There are too much smart people in this country. There are people that want to serve in this country. But we have a set of political, that we call a political class of people that want to hold on to power forever and ever in this country and believe that they're the answer and the question for this country.
The other point I wanted to raise to as it relates to term limits. We see in Barbados that even the public begins to get tired with any party. And maybe even saw it with our film. Because he had what? He had 3 terms, right? And coming on to the ending of that 3rd term, people were like, is that the arrogance? So I'm tired of these guys. They wanted something different. They wanted change. So I think that if you set term limits,
and when did they take you back again when you start to run again?
But no, this is what I'm saying to you. We are in a competitive environment. And if younger persons think that they are valuable, come forward and challenge.
Right, that's right. That's right. But you see, but at the end of the day, but the other thing too is that when you're saying the younger people come forward, the playing field has to be level. And in many instances, the playing field is skewed. It is skewed.
But let me ask you more questions.
And there are a lot of things that you don't know until you get involved in it. And there are a lot of influence. Because don't forget, it is hard as a new candidate to upseat someone who says, well, I might run, I ain't too sure if I can run again. I might run again, I can run again, I'm not going to run again. And they have their own cohort of people in the constituency as well as in the branch.
But I ask you more questions. Let me ask you a question. And honestly, how would you feel if Kemar Stewart was to say he gonna run in St. John North? Not St. John, St. Philip North.
Mm-hmm.
This is who said Philip North?
St. North is Dr. Brown right now.
Which one that thing did? Eswit did?
West. St. Philip West.
So Kemar Stewart said he want to run in St. Philip West. Does all the groundwork, all the leg work, all the footwork, all of them is the same foot, but I'm just saying. But he hear that the party want Eswit. How will you feel?
You feel bad. You feel real bad.
Although you go any branch, I want to hear how you can feel.
You feel bad, boy.
How you gonna feel?
That the party want Eswit.
You as a young, innovated, well-spoken, renowned young man.
All right, I understand.
Run against a bulldog like the Prime Minister. Have future in politics. Go up there and do the work. But then the people ain't choose you. Which is the branch or the whoever choose you people.
But
how you will feel?
But I am not guaranteed anything in this life.
Man, don't give me the rhetoric.
Just listen to me. I am not guaranteed anything.
Don't give me
rhetoric. Really, you would dress up real nice, get a haircut, spend bus fare, gas money, buy food, do all of that things to get a job interview, and maybe get there, the people tell you you have the interview, and the people say no, we don't want you.
You want our job, I never lost interview.
The money. Yet. So my thing is, it comes back down to competition and the people who have the choice making the choice according to how they feel, how you impress upon them.
But
what I am saying
that's a bad mindset.
Is politics is competitive. Nobody can just say have it.
We understand that.
If it is that these guys put out the stops to make sure that they get back in, you as a younger candidate have to learn as well. You need to shape your skill set. You need to get the backing.
So let me ask the question: does it prove to me that you are not competitive? No, if you're saying,
if
he's saying to me that I need to go there as a young man, be competitive, and you're calling it a competition, you go there, you do your work, you do everything, but you book outside the box above it. But here's a man, because his name was there, or because he has people, you end up not getting the seat, but you did the work. So here's what: Michael Ashley ain't doing the work now because the only work he doing is legal work. Simon Allen doing all the work in St. Philip North, right? But then you might come and hear he's the duly elected person. He already said to the public he ain't want it. He done. He did. Then you could hear from the public he thinking this is what he's saying. I ain't know if it's true. I just going by allegations. But here it's here. But what I'm saying is, how does the people feel? Because for me, right, I feel like the people is being tricked in Barbados. The people is being taken advantage of in Barbados, because here's what: you are going to want the president of the Democratic Labour Party going to want to look to announce candidates close to an election to protect people's integrity or to protect people within the party, but come and give the people in this country raise grains to pick up.
But Kimara, but you just said that the leader is a strong leader.
I do not disregard the fact that she could become a strong leader.
How can she become a strong leader when she?
Because everybody wants a chance to develop. I just say a good mentor would be good. You could go and mentor she. So I'm just saying, it feels for me like if I'm being pulled short or being ripped off again and again.
And the same leader
But we don't know she can be
refused to announce that she may be going to St. Lucie.
But and
as the
again,
constituency.
this care of big. Listen, now I understand the law states that if you are a what do you call working public sector,
Right, public service.
you cannot go there, you cannot announce. Now, I also believe in political strategy. I also believe in timing.
Correct.
But Verla de Pisa is the president, knowing president of the Democratic Labour Party, known. She's known as a political baby.
The acting president.
She's
She's a lawyer to
and lawyer by
yeah,
profession.
yeah.
She can actually announce her seat
Yes, she
anytime.
She can.
Because I am the leader. I don't need to hide that as a Democrat. But Ryan Waters, they could give him the nod. Because he seems to be doing more work for the party than the party doing for the party. You understand? They could give Simon the nod. They could give Kimar Stewart the nod because these are already people that are known to associate with the party and are known to be the mouthpiece. He speaks.
Despite
You're a sportsperson. You're a sportsperson on health. Thing is sportsperson on young Worrell. He's a sportsperson on agriculture. He's the young Democratic president.
Yeah.
I'm saying we already know who the hell when it is though. So telling me that when they bringing one to the floor to announce where one of them is rubbish because it can't be in 12 months or in 6 or in 1 year that you tell yourself when to go and run down in people's face and say, hey, vote for me. That means Simon Allen and Kimar Stewart will not win this election either.
Does this not show you that the Democratic Labour Party is not serious?
It does.
Does this not show you that the Democratic Labour Party are part of comedians?
I won't go as far as saying comedians. There's only one comedian here that I appreciate. But what I'm just saying, it doesn't. What I believe that I love her the pizza. I have good respect for her. But what I'm saying is, I would still call a spade a spade. We need to take this political arena serious. If not, I of the belief, and you can take my word because I call all the elections for the numbers, and I was very thinking.
You were right.
That there will not be a Democratic Labour Party if the Democratic Labour Party does not win any seats in this upcoming election. It will be done. Forget the Democratic Labour Party. The Democratic Labour Party will not be the people's, as Peter is calling it, the people's choice of a political party. The Democratic Labour Party, along with the Barrow legacy, will die at serious death.
But you see, what we need to do, and I'll tell you that you're right. What we need to do, and I always say this, we know the legacy of Barrow and the prime ministers we had and so on. What the Democratic Labour Party needs to do, and I thanks for the council though, guys, because you're giving us ideas. Thank you. What the Democratic Labour Party needs to do is to be able to attract new voters. We cannot, and no political, and I admire the prime minister for doing it. She made sure that coming into the last election, that she had more than just BLP support to win the election. And that's why the win was so significant, because all of the new voters, all the undecided voters, all of the new voters were they bought into the campaign and the manifesto and the promises and the strategy of the Barbados.
So you really think that you can get new voters to support the Dennis Lewis and the David Eswicks and the Michael Ashleys?
It can be hard. It's going to be very hard.
But if you know it hard, ways it being done.
I don't know why, boy. It's going to be very hard.
But we need to look at a deeper issue and see what is it. Because I've always seen setups, and I would consider myself somewhat of a little political strategist. And I've watched politics for a while to understand the ins and flow. In America, they tend to look at people that they want to be president and start grooming them from young. And that is why you
Kennedys, for example,
Bush, Kennedys, and all of that legacy. Every one of them. If they're not presidents, they're governors, and then whatever. Now, at the end of the day, they train up people for these things. We are not seeing that in our political arena.
There's no mentorship. There's no succession.
I would ask him. I would dare to ask him, Stuart. I know, like to me, if you have a mentor, I would dare to ask you, who's your mentor?
I agree. I have none. All right. I think that we take certain things into consideration, particularly now. I am a young person. I see Tammy Davis was taking a shot at me and said that she feels for me and I'm going to change my mindset. My mindset ain't going to change by saying that we as younger people coming into the forefront, right? You have this former Prime Minister Frondell, you have Richard Seeley and Lowe's and the older guys who would have had the experience of, say, like the Errol Barrows and the Sir Lloyds. These fellas were not easy leaders. So nothing was given to you to say, well...
You said that what?
Yeah, I said nothing was given.
They had the experience of who?
Sir Lloyd's.
Based upon their performance, you think that they had the experience?
Just a soundtrack. The point I'm trying to make
Good
is
point.
right. The point that I'm trying to make is nothing is given to you as a young person in politics, right? And this is where it calls for unity amongst the young. As young people, we could clearly see what's the issue. But we say, oh, the fellas should stand back and come and leave. We say, no, here talking, you know. Wait, you
I've
say,
done
no,
my
here
part.
talking, you know.
I've done my part.
But while we
I know
here
more to
talking
do.
and arguing and bickering and rimping, the same men who we want to coming back, going up there and getting their people to come and say, look, I'm interested, come back in.
Because they have the base already, they got the influence.
That's folly, that's a folly.
So question, Kimura.
They are doing what needs to be done to get themselves
Are they?
back
I get it.
Are they?
Question.
The point that I'm trying to
Kimura,
make is,
Safri.
Are
we
they?
as younger people got to
I have done my
come,
part, B.
we
I
got
do
to
my
come
part.
together
I do
to
my
help
part,
one
B.
another
Question.
to be able to get over the line too.
So based on
I
what you
agree.
said, I can only assume, but I'm asking you, if you are basically gathering your army
Yeah.
to then proceed and to oust with any one of those old folks that want to play and want to come back for the constituency that you wish to run in? Are you gathering your army to help the others to go in the constituencies that they would like to go in and get rid of them old folks that want to come back that the Bajans didn't really want?
I think that would let
Are
that
you
part.
doing that?
That would let that disruption.
Are you building that army?
I doing what needs to be done.
Somebody said I should fight. I saw a comment earlier saying fight from within. It's easy to say fight from within. You're right. It's easy to say fight from within, and you try to do what you have to do. But it's not an easy task. It's not an easy task.
And what the
because you're
problems that
fighting against a
y'all
culture.
have, what the problems that y'all have is very different with from within. But when I got the money to fight,
That's a
But-
good point.
Kimura, you got the money to fight.
That's a good point.
Kimura, your young army got the money to fight.
That's it.
My question.
But what he's saying is we gotta get.
But no,
integrated
my question is,
strategies.
Kimar, well, I totally
Promise you
disagree with you.
Yeah, me too.
Is that it seems somewhat contradictory. You cannot say with one token that we here say no whimpering
Yeah,
and
whimpering,
talking and we ain't doing
this
them what they're doing. Now the only body that wanna announce to some or announce himself is Dennis Lowe.
All right.
Yeah.
Show me a
Man,
member
ranks and-
that have been out there working, and I'm not talking about the Ryan Waters, because the only boy, or Simon, or Warren.
Right.
I'm talking about from that set of political dead horses that won't come back. Show me one of them that out there working. Surely Michael Ashley out there working. Not evidently. Breaking up the phone and calling somebody might be a different.
That's
Show
it.
me that day, because here's what. And then you're saying that we ain't saying no here doing that. When Simon was out there doing, but the undemocratic process which you have within your party didn't allow him to be still ain't no process safe here.
We here all
Okay, my point to say not that I ain't saying
because
that-
as you know, being young.
But who said that all that happened?
Go ahead. I got to take off that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You can hear us, Joycelyn and Wayne
Sorry
and Tammy.
guys, sorry.
Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. If you can hear us, give a thumbs up.
Go ahead. You back.
I was asking where was the young army to assist Simon? Did you sign up new members, young members to come and vote for Simon at the branch level? Because here is we have Simon. We have seen Simon out there. We have seen Simon assisted with giving out hampers and what's not to the people in the constituency. We have not seen such like from
Other people.
Mr. Lashley. We have seen Mr.
But
Lashley
yet,
working as a
He's
lawyer,
doing, but he's been doing work.
but yet still.
They say he's been doing work. They say he's been doing work.
Oh, so he's not putting it out there to the
Right.
masses.
Yeah.
Who's
He's
this
doing
bro?
work.
Who this bro? No talking about calling you little upstart Safri. You out of place calling respectable. Who is respectable gentleman again?
Because you might be in the same political dead horse race with them, I understand you. These are political dead horses. We don't apologize for that. So if you think that you want to be what is called a yard folk coming telling me about is a little upstart. I don't look a little upstart to you. These boys are where in hell are these respectable, or on the earth are these irrespectable? These men have lost their dignity and their respect in this country totally by themselves. Not with any inclusion of me or anybody at this table. So don't come telling me about how is a little upstart. Because you can really be mad, whoever you is.
I think the whole point is this, right? People, and that's one thing I've always said.
This got to be your fault.
Yeah, clearly. One of the things that I have always said. Who is that?
Anybody is hiding behind a fake name and a fake
exactly. Is your fault. What I'm saying is this. No. Let me say my point, Kimar.
Now talk about the Kimar about your.
I didn't see. My whole point is this. Different men and persons represent themselves. At the end of the day is this, and since I was vice president, I've been doing all the work with the party. People always asking me what we ain't hearing from the other fellas, we ain't hearing what they're doing, we ain't hearing about them. I can't defend persons that I was not in office with. I can't defend. I can't defend people that I was not in office with. Those guys can defend themselves. All I want you to get from this program is that what we're saying is this. There's a changing of the guard in the political arena in Barbados. Currently, the current Prime Minister would have reshuffled her cabinet and so on. And actually, some people have said, but I still have something to offer. Others are saying they don't have anything to offer. My point is this. Any political organization that wants to go forward has to think about the future.
And the people.
And the people, right? Has to think about the future and the people. So the reality of it, the reality of it is that we're not here to knock or to bash anybody. But what we're saying is that for me, and the public has already spoken, from all the calling programs I was on the air many times with Peter Wickham and even David Ellis. And when the callers call it, all they're saying is, look, if the DLP serious, they got to bring some new faces. That's not what I say. Manani is saying. That's not what they are saying. Callers to the call-in program are saying, but look, bring new candidates.
And that is my problem.
Mix it.
People don't want to hear the truth in this country.
They don't want the truth, man.
We are tired of the same old, and we are not even talking about it from only a Democratic Labour Party. And we're talking about the Democratic Party too. We tired of it. And I think the best move the Prime Minister did was to reshuffle her cabinet to the point where she needed to have fresh blood. And Lisa Cummings, Minister Lisa Cummings and Minister Ian Gooding-Edgell are a good addition to the platform.
This to bring my point into perspective. If Mr. Gooding-Edgell and Lisa Cummings did not work and to rise above all odds to be able to make themselves the PM's first choice, would we have a Lisa Cummings or Ian Gooding-Edgell today? Because
she proved herself outside of the politics.
Therefore, for the position that they have.
I don't think that they knew that they would have gotten the position. I think the position came before.
My point is that they got up and they work. Right? They got up and
so I have not been doing anything, folks. I have not been doing anything.
So the point that I am trying to make, right, is if we can have more persons with that mindset.
You cannot be with the mindset if we not got this thinking democratic process.
The point is that the people who are in place will not get up and shut their hands and say, I don't want to come.
So why Ryan Walters can't be nominated now? Why Ryan Walters, who have been speaking from the day one, was the first person in the Democratic Party that got up and said, I will represent the party. Why is Ryan Walters not a nominated person for the bar? Who will wait for? My grandmother?
I guess they will announce.
When they announce, hello, Simon. Until the president of the party stands up and say to me and Barbados that Mr. Ryan Walters, Mr. Simon Ali, Mr. Kim Marshall, Mr. John, whoever have been selected as a duly nominated, whatever representative for the upcoming election, then I don't give a who would tell me about. People, the president needs to announce and even announce himself before it's too late. But what I'm just saying, when a can't tell me that we gotta take everybody I know out here is thinking, I think you're doing your work, it may be in vain. I think you're doing your work, it may be in vain. And you all may not have the opportunity because some of the same seats that you're telling yourself you want to go after, the elites coming back for.
Mhm.
And that
Right.
is the
But
problem.
my whole point is this, right? I have never wanted anything to be handed to me, because from day one, I have always been working in my party and doing stuff. So it's not a matter of me, Simon,
But
here.
you don't want
people
nothing
on the
handed
surface.
to me.
I don't want anything handed
I
to
don't
me.
think that's the
I think-
mindset of young people nowadays.
Of course not.
We want to work.
But what I can agree with Kimar is that more young people got to be united together and work together and to support each other's agenda to move
Yeah, but
a
even the
party,
party, even the
move
party don't
forward.
teach unity, it would always be divided, and then it shall fall. Because I believe if the man tell me tomorrow he interested in a seat, I will be doing everything in my power to make sure that he get on.
But
But-
Kimar, if the members of the party,
Which part?
and the members of the party, ultimate goal is to lie, cheat, and steal, where will that get you?
It can't make us all will switch at party.
He did say which party.
But we all know who we talking about.
Right, don't know who we talking. It's a party.
Because then you condemn any contribution of all the good leaders that the TLP had. You condemn any contribution.
Come on, man.
But
But regardless,
But the last
but-
good leader I wanna have was Sandy Ford.
But here's what we keep talking about: good leaders or good leaders not. The mere fact that y'all are looking to bring back spoiled
All right,
apples
let's
is
leave
going
that.
to have a
Okay, hold on, okay,
plan.
Kimar,
Nobody-
did
nobody-
you ask Kimar if he agree with Dennis Lowe being the candidate for the constituency?
I think Kimar said you went through the process, so
So you agree with him being there?
That is slow and through the process.
He announced himself.
All announcements to do with candidate selection will be done from the office of the president.
No. I asking if it was announced publicly or he announced himself. Because
Whatever
I'll let George speak.
whatever
He knows himself,
contributions that was made, from my understanding, it was from his perspective and not an official announcement
Mhm.
of the DLP.
so you could go along and say he's a candidate.
no, that'd be misleading.
But if
That
the
would
man
mislead
went
the
out there
public.
and say he's a candidate, what if I say today?
The Nation newspaper already said that Simon is the candidate, although
The
it's not
nation,
true.
the Nation newspaper has been saying that I'm the candidate for
Well, good,
Simon.
Simon, you are the Julie letter candidate. I acknowledge Cameron Allen as the president, as the candidate for St. Philip North, because Dennis Lowe went out and said he's the candidate for Christchurch. I think West whatever.
But he had the backing president.
Well, he got back in the president. He's president,
but the
but
president isn't backing
But no,
But good point, the nation announced it, but
right, and somebody saying here the nation announced it, but I'm saying is it is also that money, it is also the truth that is being spilled that he is. But so if people could go there and announce themselves, then I believe all the people that want to run in the Democratic Party should announce. But everyone all right? Because then it's not going to announce himself. Kimar Safi could go announce himself tomorrow as the candidate for Christchurch and Central.
But anyhow, let's move on
Let
from.
me go on,
But at the end of the day, this is open and frank discussion. This is how we talk with each other. Nobody's trying to bash anyone politically. But clearly, if you listen to the public, and Pro Morris, you would agree with me. The public want a different lineup, man. That's the honest truth. It ain't got nothing to do with me. Even God choose me. Just choose different people.
But Simon,
Choose the
you
lineup.
speak of whether you disengage from the process.
I ain't disengaged from the process.
But you were right in the center.
But I don't
And did I vote for the person?
And the point that
I don't vote for the
was
person,
making, the
though.
point that I was making
I vote for the
about
person.
younger people wanting to get into politics. You're entering into a competitive environment.
We know that. We know that. I said that, but you also got to pick your battles too.
Okay.
And you also got to
even
know.
if you are not successful in.
I'ma go again.
what you
I'ma go
tend to
again.
do, there are other arenas.
Yeah,
we'll go again.
but the ones that ain't want to leave you might as well stop there. Because some of them who want to back the seat so long.
Right.
That
But
you are not.
don't get me wrong. This is not sour grapes. Going to be other opportunities. I may not be selected for this election, but who knows? Another election, another time period. Who knows what can happen? But at the end of the day, it's about service. So whether or not, I still want to work. I still want to help in any capacity with any organization. That is for sure.
And any part that come you.
Well, boy,
You
you work with who wants to work with you. You work with people that value you. You work with people who are going to say, well, look, I can see that you got potential. This is what I want you to do. Help me with this. And that's what you do. I see. And that's the thing. I think for me too, I've been in my party for a while. I've done a lot of things. And that's good. It's good to be involved. But then it comes a time where you say, you know what? I can actually offer myself to do more, not necessarily party, but for an area, a constituency, to help people. Whether it was through church service, whether it was through voluntary work in the community, whatever. You know?
Yeah, but it must be a part of that where in serving, in like in any business, you want to climb the ranks and the
Of
ladder
course.
to be able to serve.
In
at a higher level.
time.
Because I believe we have innovative. We sit on this show for mostly 40 episodes, and
That's
we
right.
spoke about innovative ideas. We brought people on this show. I think we've shown ourselves worthy as it relates to people that could lead Barbados. And if yes, may not be tomorrow, but good mentorship, good
But that's what's
platform,
missing.
and that can help
That's
us
what's
and
missing.
support
We
us.
need mentorship and
But-
succession
But
planning.
don't tell me that we have a very frail process of where we then look at inclusion, politics of inclusion. Where we believe is this. I hear politicians talk about the seat for the child. Who the hell is you? Who the hell is your child? Your child might never be interested in politics. You put him here, he can't serve the people because his project was never to serve the people.
Exactly.
Simon, Pro said, when you are young and intelligent, you have time.
You have to, oh, you parties.
Leon Hoyt is saying,
Time
time
what?
is on no.
No, you want a time? I 30 time, ain't no time. My body was in politics in 20s.
True.
David Thompson in 20s. What time? We look to serve the people now because here's what. Everybody believe it's 40. Everybody's 30 right now.
35.
At least my 40 ain't done. I want to go along with this business.
It's rather unfortunate that you bring a man that was on death's door not too long ago to now come put him in a position, in a very stressful position, to run back again as candidate.
I often ask the question,
Yeah,
why?
I can't understand
There's
what
a
he's
point-
saying so because
there's a point by Sean
Preston was in
Rollins.
the paper over the weekend saying how he had cancer and how he was.
But you saw the move of the Prime Minister.
He was going on stick.
You saw the move of the Prime
And
Minister.
you all still put him back to run as a candidate and then to put him back as a minister.
You know he was a sitting either. Just saying.
I'm just saying,
Just saying.
and back as a minister, although he said he was on death doors. So how you hitting on someone for that? You know, I ain't quite
Anymore?
But fortunately for Mr. Preston, he has done a good job thus far. I don't know if I can say the same about Mr. Lowe.
All right.
Right.
Let's
We
go
can
on.
change the discussion point to COVID.
Yeah, just for the next couple of minutes.
COVID-19.
Want to know this one?
Yeah. So basically, I think
Oh, is it
we
about
all,
COVID?
it's been a very good conversation. I want to thank all the persons who have been contributing to the thread. We see your comments and we thank you for commenting. We would have seen recently, over the past couple of days, there would have been 24. A bit too low.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don't call it irregular.
Sorry, my shirt was going on. So we've had approximately 24 new cases of COVID-19 in Barbados. First of all, give kudos to the Dos Santos laboratory for all the testing to make sure that everything was right. We also got to commend the Ministry of Health staff that is working directly with COVID and ensuring us that we get the data and the information. But the challenge that I have had, and a lot of people would have questioned, was the whole issue of the Ghanaian nurses coming to Barbados. We know it's debatable whether we need the Ghanaian nurses or we could have found nurses from the region to come and help us. Regardless of that, the issue is their status, their COVID-19 status. We are not sure if they left Ghana because the argument is that Ghana tests 72 hours before traveling is no guarantee it's going to pick up that you may have contracted the virus in transit to Barbados. So I think that one of the things we have to monitor very closely, what we have to monitor is that when people come into Barbados and we do the requisite testing, that the whole issue of isolation, the whole issue of ensuring that people have documents that are verified, because what we're seeing in Bahamas, for example, is that a lot of visitors, they are bringing falsified documents that their COVID-19 status is negative. And what we don't want is that because you come to Barbados now, we have to take our resources to ensure that you are healthy and stay safe and don't infect the rest of the population.
Right.
So my concern is really how would the government go forward? I saw the new travel protocols is on my phone. I still really think that we have to be very careful as we cautiously open Barbados, because we know we have to open the country. We need to open the country. That's the only, look at Case Shepherd, look at all the rest of businesses that are suffering because of the lack of foreign exchange and the tourist dollar. We need to open the country, but we must be very cautious in how we do it.
One of the things I'm challenged by as I hear that our ministers rather are in quarantine, right, or rather isolation, if it's whichever come first. One of the challenge I have is that in this COVID time, that our ministers are being quite exposed to these meet and greets
True.
of foreign persons.
Nationals, yeah.
Now, I believe that the one where we saw the Ghanaian nurses being greeted, and we saw some very close, in the images I saw in the media, was some very close contacts.
Be careful.
I think that was very irresponsible, especially from our leaders. And I think that what we should have seen a little bit more of is
Social distancing.
social distancing, but one where our ministers, our people are not exposed. So where we would want to do the whole fanfare, the whole meet and greet, I think that we should have forfeit all of that. Just watch them get on a bus and go straight to Paragon and leave the whole fanfare, because no, it put our ministers, who we need so much right now. Ms. Kamisu would have been just a new minister in isolation. I find that quite challenging, and that we need to be able to be careful as our leaders are not exposed so much directly to this here, and that next time there is an opening. Now, I welcome the whole Ghanaian nurse. I've heard the Nursing Association say there's a shortage of nurses of up to 500. So the Ghanaian nurse, and we have to remember too that the Ghanaian nurse is also a very diplomatic approach in terms of opening connection with African nations and what's not. So that is very important, and there's a whole mutual agreement between. We're not privy to everything, but I think it's a very open door for us to reach the African nation, so much so. But I'm just saying, at the same time, we have to be careful that we don't give everybody this fanfare, that corporate rollout in a time where we have to protect ourselves. And I would also like to see read more on the whole COVID approach. I don't think there's also a real solution. I feel that we're going to be continuously tweeting this whole COVID thing, because there's so much implications, there's so much differences, there's so much, I heard somebody said in the international news that, you cannot fix, COVID is not a silver trophy fix or a gold trophy fix. It's always going to be some tweet, there's always going to be some issues, there's always going to be something that you have to hit and miss and go. I really want Barbados to understand that COVID is not to fix. It is something that is going to be here for a long time until it's find a vaccine. But even until that vaccine is found, that a lot of people are still being very reckless in their approach to this thing as well.
But the thing about it for us, we have to make sure that the COVID testing and the standards, I think there was a point here, if you scroll back up, before we get to Wayne's point, there was a thing here that was saying, the Ghanaian Joyce, or the Ghanaian system is flawed. Now, the thing about it is, with the test, with COVID-19 tests, you have this up to 2 tests, 2 to 3 tests. So I'm wondering if before they leave and come to Barbados, if all those tests are done, and they have the double negative to show that, hey, if one test saying that you're negative and another test saying that you're positive, you're basically positive more or less. So it's very important that the testing at the origin, because we're doing our testing real good here in Barbados. That is evident because we are able to pick up those persons who are infected. But we have to be careful that at the origin, when people leave their countries to come, whether in Europe or North America, to come to Barbados, that they have already been properly tested and that they ensure that they're not infected or affected by COVID-19 en route to Barbados, especially those long-haul flights that may require them to be in transit. I'm not too sure if the Ghanaian nurses would have left one part of Africa, then to fly to Johannesburg, and then from Joburg to England, as they usually do, and then from London to Barbados. I'm not too sure if that's how the flight was. But there are many, as you can see, from the time you leave your point of origin, there are so many opportunities for you to come in contact with the virus. You have to be careful.
Yeah, and I think if you look at other countries, so there's a lot more tests that needs to be done other than just the COVID, because you're talking about African nations that
malaria
and different sicknesses that we are in our culture here in Barbados are not versed to. So I think that a lot more needs to do. While I do appreciate these things, I just say that we need a different approach. I've also seen where a lot of people are talking about our leaders. They're not using the masks as well.
Yeah, not social distancing
and they're
either.
not social distancing as well. And then they're coming down on the public hard.
Correct.
We would have seen that the closure of 4 touring
Bars.
clubs and bars and some
Bus
bus
crawl.
crawls. Which I definitely agree, and I definitely support the work of the
COVID
police, if you want to call them that, doing their work. But I also think that the approach must also hit. I mean, here at the Homeless Society, we don't serve anybody unless they have masks. We write down all of their names. We do temperature checks.
Correct.
That's something. So we are following suit. So I would love to see as well others in the leadership position following suit.
Correct.
I still seeing people walking about in leadership without masks. We still need to define if it is mandatory to wear masks within the public.
Correct.
Because it was just a requirement and obviously a plea. So we need to see some more of these. But other than that, I'm in full support of what the government is doing as it relates to shutting down these people that are breaking the law. I'm not going to support anything or anyone to think. Somebody else said, was a chartered flight direct to BJ? I think that's a question that everyone was asking, if the flight was chartered or not. We don't know. So I can't answer that.
I'm trying to look for the updated protocols for travel. Anybody?
I don't have the updated protocol.
I had the old ones, but I'm trying to see if I can
Somebody's
highlight a couple of things so that people would understand.
Tammy, what is your issue with the temp checks? I have a special machine in my office here, Tammy, that allows that once the person is checked, it goes off crazy in terms of if you hit,
Body
if you
temperature
spike,
is too high.
temperature is too high. Now, as long as the temperature is too high, we here have an isolated room, and we put the person into that room quickly, and then call the COVID team, and then have them tested. And we've had it several times. So the temperature check is very good. Well, the temperature check, I can tell you to some degree which I've experienced, and I'm not saying don't do it. Have also shown that if you're really hot from coming outside, it could show you a higher temperature because it'll say so hot. Another part of the temperature check is just somewhere where it run in and come back the body temperature. So you have to actually let them cool down to be able to take a temperature. And that's what, in some cases for us with the homeless, we just tell them hold on outside, and then we run a test again, and then we are able to tell you thing. That's what we're saying, Tammy. So we are able to tell you, and if we have to run 1 or 2, we will still put you into the quarantine room. We don't put you back into the public, but we put you into the quarantine, and we will run tests as night go by.
Right. So
John, then you say we're not social distancing. I think we are well 3 feet apart. The cameras only look us close.
Correct.
But we are well within our distances. If you want us to put on masks, that's a
yeah, they got masks. So
we have masks. We got it covered. But they say that if you're at a bar, if you say you're talking, or if you're in a group, you don't have to put on masks too. So
that works.
We are just following protocol.
But it says upon arrival from
Thanks,
high-risk
Thomas.
countries. Right. He has the documents there. It says before disembarking, have your COVID-19 PCR test results visible, if applicable. These results will be screened for validity. Masks must be worn while at the airport in Barbados. All travelers must undergo a health screen. Persons traveling from high-risk countries with a valid negative COVID-19 PCR test result will be quarantined at a designated holding hotel or villa at their own expense or free of charge at a government facility, and will be monitored daily for the onset of symptoms. Right, there we go. We have the document. This is the updated one. Correct.
I wonder if I could take here into like one quarantine facility and people pay me to stay here.
Pay you to stay. I don't think when you leave the quarantine facility, you might get something you don't want.
Nah.
Right. So it says, let's go down briefly. Let's go through them quickly. Right. These persons will quarantine for a period of 14 days with an option to take a second COVID-19 PCR test between 5 to 7 days after the last test accepted by the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Persons will typically be released once the next test is negative. Once the test result is negative.
Earlier than 14 days.
Yes. If your test is positive, you will be transported to an alternative accommodation for isolation, where you'll stay until you've recovered. Upon recovery, you can resume your vacation, or you may return home.
That makes sense. I don't think that part makes sense. Like, you mean, like, you're saying they come in for vacation, but yet if I in 14 days quarantine, I can return home, or I can continue my vacation.
If you get paid.
Yeah, that sounds like if I came here to be quarantined.
but that's the risk. If anyone's traveling during this period of COVID, that is the risk that you're taking if you are traveling. That if there's a possibility you do the test and you are positive, you have to be quarantined. You got to be put in isolation.
Right, but then you're saying you could be returning home, or you could continue vacation after.
But most people will want to return home if they can't get back home.
So Okay.
So high-risk areas include USA, Brazil, India, Mexico, Argentina, Peru, Colombia, South Africa, Indonesia, Philippines, and Russia.
Yeah.
Then you have the low-risk countries. It's a little different. It's not as rigorous. Then you have the medium risk? It's the green one, right? If you scroll up.
No.
Go again. Go up again. No, down. I said, sorry, down. Right, low risk. And then the medium risk countries includes Canada, UK, Spain, Italy, Germany, France, Sweden, Australia, Jamaica, and so on. Right? So it's clear that we have a protocol that can work, but it must be enforced. There can't be any lapses of it, because you have a situation when people come in, and that's a lot to do with honesty too. And I think one of the comments in our thread said that, because we don't know what's happening at the source country. We don't know how the testing is supposed to be done. It's supposed to be at WHO standards. But we don't know in Africa if they're testing the same way.
Somebody's asking here, are you all doing pulse checking as well? My organization will receive
Yes,
the temperature check and pulse test. Is this applicable in Barbados as well? I don't.
This is the first time I heard about the pulse.
This is Sanchia.
Sanchia
Walker.
Walker. Sanchia.
Please tell me about this pulse check. I don't know what it is. If you could tell us a little bit more. But I don't do. Danny, focus on the show, please. Everything is confusing. If possible, can you tell us a little bit? I have never heard about the pulse testing, but I can check up pulse testing, but I've never heard about it. So that would be good to have.
Let's see, pulse testing. COVID.
Right, so let me see if I can find anything on it here. Information from the word. I'm not seeing anything on pulse checking. Or what is pulse?
Oh, pulse was a pulse oximeter.
I don't know if that's the one we're looking for, but it does a pulse survey. Let me see. Pulse survey.
Where you
Survey
checking
takes
people pulse again?
answer from the household pulse surveys or tracking of our mental, social, and economic.
It's probably
economic
some
health.
kind of survey.
And during the pandemic.
All right, click on it. See what it means. CDC.
So
It
this
may not be a physical pulse. I think that's what we were thinking, but it might be sign different.
yeah, you go use your reader.
No.
Just read
Right, the
this one.
household pulse survey is helping to answer these questions by innovating and capturing data in new ways. How many people are struggling under the stress of the pandemic, mental health, and so on. Oh, so the pulse survey is not the literal pulse.
Not the literal pulse.
It's actually that's to find out the mental state
Yeah.
of persons, anxiety, and so on. They stand
So
up
I'm
living-
covering your experience. So it's carried out by the Central Disease Control.
CDC, yeah.
Center for Disease Control and Prevention. So I'm going to actually read up on it. Find
Yeah,
out very
we got a
interesting.
COVID hotline that still exists in Barbados, so I'm not too sure if the surveying part is being done.
I want to return home officially launch my organization for success, but couldn't risk the quarantine. Therefore, though disappointed, online launch. You can still see if you can merge.
Send
Tammy.
the link to us, Tammy.
Yeah, so if you can merge with
what you
somebody and send us the link privately. Thanks, actually. We just read about it, which is the thing, or the level and the heart rate.
Oh, pulse oximeter, that's actually
Okay.
It reads your blood oxygen level and heart rate. Okay.
I don't think we have that.
What is part of the success, Tammy? If you could,
The O2
just
sensor
messaging
basically
ways.
tells you
Yeah, she
the
said
amount
she
of
was-
oxygen in the blood. If it goes under 90, I think it's 90 something, it is a concern.
About it.
If it's too low, it basically means that you need oxygen.
Okay, if you need oxygen.
Yes. And it's easily
So that's a
checked-
clear
it's
indicator that
easily
you got
checked-
COVID.
It's easily checked by a odometer placed on your finger,
Mm.
and it could check that.
Okay, great. So we touched on a number of topics. We touched on COVID, we touched on politics, we touched on elderly, we touched on the homeless earlier.
Yeah, we did.
We just want to reiterate, please treat the homeless and all other vulnerable people with the respect that is due. Any other
Parting
thing?
shots.
Huh?
Parting shots or parting. I don't think there's anything else I really
Touch
want to
on.
discuss. Anything else you want to discuss, Kimar?
No, next week.
Okay.
next week.
Anything coming? Anything happening? Anything else happening in you guys' circles that we want to talk about before
Oh,
we
thanks,
close
John
off?
Denny. Thanks for the.
Yeah,
comment.
Denny.
I just want to say that change is necessary for growth. All right? Not all change is positive change, but we do know that change is necessary for growth. adaptation is also necessary. And I think that any organization, political or otherwise, that wants to survive, that wants to exist beyond into the future, needs to be able to adapt, needs to be able to embrace change, and also needs to be able to have proper mentorship. Mentorship is very important so that you can do proper succession planning. So that's one thing I would like to say clearly tonight, that I am all in favor for young people getting in politics, competing, but we know that politics is competitive, but at the same time too, we need a level playing field so that when the competition starts, it can actually be a real competition and not a one-sided affair.
The money. You anything? Okay, Kima.
Well, like Simon agree, our younger people needs to get the idea of competition. It's not a fair world, it's not an easy world.
True.
I would not like to suggest that anything you enter into, politics, business, religion, whatever institution you enter into, you will have to be of good cheer and be aware that not everybody will support you, and you will have your own team. And in any situation where you need to effectively manage people, you will have some supporters and some dissenters, but that should not discourage the mission of what we are about as young people.
True.
I think right now our country is ripe for change in all sectors. The economy is ripe for change in tourism, it's ripe for change in health, it's ripe for change in education, finance, economics. And I think our young people are so intelligent and we have so much to offer. And I think that if we could come together, not to sing kumbayas or anything, but to effectively enact the change that we want and not necessarily wait on others or to look above or outside of ourselves for the change that we need. I think that would be is an excellent start to be able to get there. I think that what Mr. Safri does on a daily basis, I applaud and I give my 1000% support. And if we could have other younger people fighting causes like what was suggested earlier, I think that we would go miles. So it's not necessarily only about elective politics, but it is wherever you can make a change. Society, because Barbados is ripe for change in society. And if we stand back and allow persons who do not share our mentality or who do not see or who see life back in the 1980s or 60s, then we will have to live with the consequences of our decisions for the next 20, 30 years.
That's it, decades.
You want to read that?
Right. Sancho Walker was explaining about the pulse test. Within our organization, we do both the thermometer and pulse oximeter. For instance, we had an auditor whose temperature was great because of the reading of the pulse oximeter. The nurse positive. Apparently, she was asymptomatic.
Well,
Yep.
so that's looking.
Look into that with the Ministry of Health as a suggestion coming.
All right, guys. I think.
Confirm it. We can't confirm it, but I guess there
And
will
then
be
questions. Yes, but I would suggest pull
WA.
yeah.
American.
Yeah, so about that. So I put something on my phone. I keep thinking, but yeah, I got it. But yeah, it's the Center
For Disease Control, CDC.
and Prevention, and WHO.
World
That's what.
Organization.
But as I said earlier, our show is never to pull. We get heated. We get very passionate. But we speak from our mind what we think is right.
Sure.
It is nobody to disrespect anybody, but to speak the facts. We want to see young people in politics. We want to see young people making strides in this country. And I agree with Kimar. It's a very competitive world out there. But I think that we also need to make room for young people to be able to give them an opportunity. I'm a young person running an organization, and I didn't get it by chance. I had to take it. It was competitive. I had people telling me, go home, don't do this. from the age of 18. They had people try to take the building away from me because they had money and because they put money to the bank and all of that. I know the challenges. I have businesses. I have to survive in my business. I'm competitive in my business because I don't have a monopoly. So I think as young people, we have to be given opportunity to be able to succeed. And it's not that we don't want to compete. It's not that we don't want to take up the challenge. It's not that we don't want to take up the mantle. But for too much time, we have hurdles before we even start. We have people that planning against us before we even get in there, and we are never able to show what capability we have as young people. And yes, people will say fight, 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 but sometimes there's nothing to fight. There's no way to fight because you're not even given the opportunity to fight. And in order to see, correct, in order to see us as young people strive, and in order to see that this generation here that is sitting before you become your next leader, because some people say we're intelligent, some people can say we're stupid, some people can say we sound good, some people can say we sound dumb. But at the end of the day, deep down in their heart, they know that these are young people that they can look on and say, look, they still make a difference. Their potential. Each of us have made a difference in our life. Each of us have made a difference in people's life. Each of us have decided not to sit on a block. Each of us has decided not to shoot and kill people or rob people for a living, but to serve at different and various levels by being a teacher, being a politician, being for the homeless, being a business person. But at the same time, we want to do much more for our country, and we could only do much more if the people that are in the position will step aside and give the chance to the people that can do something. And it might not be step aside and go in isolation, but step aside and become our mentors, become our guide, and show us what it is that we can do, and where we see there have been wrongs, and make sure we avoid it. We have to be given a chance. Our elderly has to be taken care of in this country. For too long, we've seen the elderly just go way by, and we put up a ministry, but we are seeing little to nothing, and it cannot be the rhetoric, it cannot be the stage performance, it cannot just be the speeches, but it has to be much more in reaching, in policy, in reaching people. And on top of the COVID, we need to look at ways that our leaders become our guide, and that we as well adhere to whatever COVID restrictions and COVID guidelines and things that they have out there, and let us do what we have to do in order to safeguard and protect our countries and to grow our people. But honestly, we need to look. Now, we want to encourage you, we need to look at going forward. We also want to encourage you to like our page. If you have not liked our page, it's the DeBrief TV show. We come to you every Tuesday. As you can see, we're one of the only running TV shows on. We've done almost 40 episodes. We've been consistent. We've been keeping it going. We have our new ones, the studio notes. It's kind of cool. But we come to you, we bring it to you, we bring the guests, we bring the audience, we bring ourselves. We do this no payment of our heart, of our time, and we just want to get things over to Barbados. So we encourage you to support us, like our page, share our page, so that next time we are on, you can link us. We are on again next week, Tuesday, at 6 o'clock, 6:30. We just said 6:30, and we encourage you to stay with us.
Thank you.
Continue watching us. We love the support. We love the feedback today, and we want to say again, thank you to each and everyone for tuning in and making this show what it was. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
On behalf of DeBrief, I'm Kimar Safri, Kimar Stewart,
Simon Allen,
Damani.
Good night.
Small. You know, thinking with Adam, but have a good night. Best.